Good morning and welcome to Coffee with Cross. All right, so let's get Skype running. I think we have a special guest today. Let's try this out. Okay, Josh, if you want to jump in, you can jump in now or you can jump in whenever. But today I'm going to do some special sauce. Let's get to Unity. All right. So I was thinking about a little special. Let's celebrate the Star Wars Force Awakens trailer, and let's make a game character out of BB-8. So let's do this search. Let's get an image of him, because he looks really easy to do, and I think we can do it in a quick way. The other thing I will also be able to show you while we do this is some physics action going on. Okay, let's look at the way they've actually built it. That's actually neat. Let's copy this image. Let's go to Photoshop and check it out. Enter Control V. Okay. Hey, Josh is calling. What's up, Joshachu?
Hey.
How's it going, man? You're my number one fan, dude. Number one fan. You should mute the Twitch. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to share my screen so you can be in real time with me.
Okay.
All right, and that way you and I can stay on track together. All right.
Stay on the same page. All right.
Yep. Can you see my screen? So today, I thought what we would do, since The Force Awakens sort of blew everybody's mind and mine, and it's episode 13, which is, you know, in old school TV terms, a full season. I thought we'd do something a little special. So I thought, hey, let's make BB-8 a game character. What do you think about that?
I think that's fantastic.
Yeah? Okay. Are you excited about it?
You know, like I'm excited about making this. I worry about anytime there's a new Star Wars, right? Like, I don't want to get too excited.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm excited because it's J.J. Abrams, and I think he's gonna treat it with care.
Oh, it should be all right then. Yeah.
All right. So this looks like a great way to make it physically, but I don't think I'm going to make hemispheres today. That might take us a little longer. We'll see. Let's get the rough version of this up and running, right? So how do you think we should build this? Let's use Unity as much as possible. If we have to go to Blender or another 3D program, we can, like Cheetah 3D. But let's try and let's just get it up and running in Unity. And why don't you tell me how you want to approach it? Yeah, so let's go to the Twitch example project, and then I'll make a new scene. We won't change projects, so I can do it with everything that's in 3 doors. Maybe we can have him show up as like a cameo, like you open the door and there's BB-8.
I mean, you know, you got to get your character controller out, some spears, probably.
Yeah.
Just basically to start with the basics.
Well, let's do this. Instead of using a character controller, actually, let's do 2 versions. Let's do the character controller version, and then let's also do the version where, like, I build it in UScript, so that we can get maybe a different feel on it, right? Okay. So, so let's drop a sphere in. Actually, let's drop a plane in first, so that we can get some ground, right? And let's go ahead and be a little snazzy and come up with some, I'll just put a material on it, right? Let's see if we've got ground. We'll just do this generic ground. What's that look like in camera? Okay, let's get our main camera. Let's move this so that we are looking a little bit closer at it. I use the hotkey to go to rotate, just so you know. Let's see. Global. There we go. Okay, let's drop in actually let's rename this ground. How's the new job, man? Without being specific, unless you want to plug your work.
Oh no, it's pretty fantastic.
Yeah, you're enjoying it.
Yeah. Oh, like it's. I'm working at NHN Entertainment for QA, but it's also like Monarch Gaming Labs that make like a slot machine.
Yeah.
And I've been doing testing on that, and working on a slot machine is a lot more like interesting and detailed than you think it would be. You know?
Sure.
It's really surprising, and like the work environment is very nice. They really spoil you.
Oh, really? That's great.
Lots of free dinners. So
right, that's great. Okay, so there's our basic ball, right? I think we're gonna have to do some sort of hemisphere for the head. Let's just call this body. Say what?
Are you planning? Because like the bottom of them rolls, right? Basically, so
yes.
We'll probably make it more of a rigid body, and then we add force to that, and pull it around, maybe.
Look at you, Josh. You're always in my head. All right, let's do a couple of things. Let me see if I can 3D object. Let's drop another one in. The other one was 0.5 radius, and we're going to change the radius on this one to 0.25, and that should get us a little bit. Oh, that's the collider. Hold on. 0.5. 0.5 is half the, basically half the diameter is what it's saying. 1 would be a full shot. So let's actually make this one 0.5, 0.5, 0.5. And then actually to get that shape, let's go back to Photoshop real quick. It's not exactly a hemisphere, right? It's a little squishy. It's a little squashed.
Let me take a look at him again. Yeah, it's a little squashed.
So let's do this for now, because what I'm concerned with right now is functionality, right? So let's do the functionality first, and we'll come back and clean up the head and the and the body, right? Once we start putting maps on it, and then we will. There we go. So we're pretty close right off the bat. Not too shabby.
That's something you can work with. Yeah.
Yep, we can absolutely start working with this. I'm going to add. Create an empty object, and we'll just call this BB-8. All right. I wonder if they picked BB-8 because he looks like an 8 and a couple of B's, right? I don't know. Seems like that kind of logic is going on. So let's take the body and sphere and drop these onto BB-8. Well, I'm actually going to take this, and we'll call this head. Let's take the head and put it on the body. I'm going to kind of go fast because I don't want to take up our whole episode with BB-8. I want to do some let's see, 000. Let's take this. Let's make his. Let's get everything in alignment, right? I want to make sure that everything is. It's A-OK. Let's see, 0.5. Let's call it 0.5. Let's call this 0.6. Okay, now this should be on the ground. Let's move him up by 1.5 by half. Nope. So that was my scale. Sorry, hold on. 1.5. Let's just call it that for now. Actually, I think 0.5 is probably closer. Oh man, so it's great, man. I'm happy that you're liking your new job. That's awesome. I remember you were thinking, I got to start expanding my career, and it's time to get moving. So,
yeah, like it's pretty cool because most of the development there is actually done in Unity for the.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, for the slot machine. So there's pretty much nothing gets said that I don't understand what's happening. On some level,
Yeah, sure. That's awesome. So you're like, that's great. Whenever you have a job that is A, gratifying just in the work, right? And B, you feel like you're getting something for the future. Like you're able to get something from the job more than just a paycheck, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm always looking for. Maybe I'm looking for that too much, right?
I don't think there's too much for that, Josh, because that's the way you like when you stop learning, right? That's when you should get a new job.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Unless they're paying you for your ignorance.
To be comfortable.
Well, more than comfortable, right?
Yeah.
Your education and your learning through work is worth more on your time than your initial comfort, right? Well, at least till you have like real considerations like a wife and kids. Anyway, as long as you're single, you should be trying to always get something else from your job than a paycheck, right?
Yeah, that's how I gotta be.
Yep.
I get sad if I don't.
Yeah, and that's kind of the point, right? Okay, so let's go to UScript and see if we can. I'm just going to make a generic. Let's see, new graph. We'll save this graph. Let's see, BB-8 dash. Well, I'll just call it the. I'll put an underscore. Proto. Master game object. Yes. Okay, so this will control our level. Let's make one more. New graph. No, don't compile right now. Come on.
It's been really slow, I think, compiling compared to everything before.
Well, Unity 5, so far, it's about the same for me, but because I'm not doing anything big, but I think when I get to Ghosts of Iwo Jima or something bigger like that, it's going to be significant, right? Hey, so what do you think about this? I was thinking about putting my future projects on my blog as like pitch PDFs. Like, hey, I'm going to make this, I'm going to make this, I'm going to make this on the show. Yeah? No?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. And then like everybody can see, or like like maybe which should I do first or something like that.
Yeah, that could be cool, right? People. Like, hey, everybody just start voting. Right? Vote on what's going on. Hold on. All right. Sorry, I'm setting up my dashboard over here so I know what's going on in the room. I'm going to start making some more pro style changes to the show so that we can have it'll, I don't know, whatever. It'll just look cooler.
Like title cards and stuff like that.
Yeah. That's where I was going with this Photoshop piece, right? Like I'm going to start working this into like. I think maybe I'll have an intro video. What do you think about that?
Like the coffee could waver, and then like stuff could appear in it, and then like
yeah, and then Satan's head comes out of the coffee. Oh my goodness! I don't know why he sounded like Jabba the Hutt just now. Maybe it's in celebration of Star Wars: The Force Awakens. I gotta tell you, I hated the prequels, but I didn't hate them. It's just I was unimpressed. Right? I was like, meh, it's fine. It feels like it's like Star Wars waffles.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? I feel like those are okay, and like Star Wars, since the world is so kind of rich and whatnot, it can never be completely bad, right? Because there's always something to kind of enjoy, but like there's definitely a bar set for like a good Star Wars movie. It's not.
Yeah. So, all right. So we got two clear script graphs ready to go, right? So why don't we start with the BB-8 controller? So let's drop a controller script on him. Sorry, I have to get through. I think I have to actually pull that in. Let's see. Let's go to my assets, import package. Do you see controllers on there? I see cross-platform input. It'll come in with characters, but let's try cross-platform input first. Car tilt control, dual touch control, mobile aircraft controls, single stick control, mobile tilt controls, joysticks, button handler. That's all more than we need right now. Let's go to import package characters. Let's look inside the character package.
Oh yeah, I think it should be in there.
Okay, there's first person character. Rollerball. We got a rollerball controller. Well, let's pull that in. Let me see. I'm going to go with none on this, and I'm only going to check the things that I want. All right. It looks like it may need cross-platform input script. Let's see. There's rollerball, so I've got that checked. Third-person action controller.
Maybe.
Let's try that one. Cross-platform input. I don't need that. Utility. We may need utility. Actually, I haven't played around with a bunch of these. It's nice to simple mouse rotator, smooth follow. This is cool. I'm going to learn some new stuff that came with Unity 5.
Yeah, I haven't touched any of that either.
Yeah,
really.
I totally haven't. Let's see if we can get some action on this. Well, this is going to be important, right? Because what I can do is potentially replace some of my stuff in Dumpster Baby or any of my other sort of future planned games, right?
Yeah, that's been helping me actually. Like, since I have one big project, having things that like bring me to make smaller projects, you start looking outside of the scope, and then you realize, oh, I can pull this in and make that better in the big one, and pull that in and make that better in the big one. Like,
yes, totally, and it's that was kind of part of this special sideways assignment, which was let's practice that, right? So like, even though 3 Doors is small, sometimes you want to go work something out somewhere else before touching like your concept of the big project, right? So like, even mentally, it feels safer to work in this sort of small contained space, right? And then you can take your learnings and go back and immediately apply them to the other one, right? So having multiple scenes is not a bad thing. You don't have to ship them all, right? You can have prototype scenes. All right, so let's see. Let's look at our components. Is there a control component? Let me see. Miscellaneous. Scripts. Undo component. Wow, there's all kinds of stuff over here. I don't know what those things do. Is it under game object? I bet you actually what it is I'm going to have to go pull apart some of these prefabs. Let's go to standard assets, characters, rollerball, prefab, scripts, ball user control. What's this ball script? Okay, I'm going to open up both of these in mono develop so that we can get a look at what's going on inside them and then see if we want to put it on our stuff. So is today our first real look at C#? This is going to be it, isn't it?
Yeah. Anything before that, briefly opening up a UScript like C# script.
Yes, we did just so that I could show you what the output was. Move vector 3D direction. So where is it getting moved from? Let's do. I hit Control F, right? And this is how I pick apart scripts. Move power 5. Force added to the ball. So they've already got a force. I may not even have to touch UScript at all, right? So move does use. If this is true, which is use torque, then take this, add torque, new vector 3, in these directions, negative x times move power. So move power is a multiplier, right? So jump back to basic, back to your algebra, right? I'm going to do this in concept, which is do the things in, consider this one value, right? Or not one value, but what's inside the parentheses is going to get multiplied, right?
Yeah.
And that is all going to be part of this torque. Let's see, force in the move direction. Move power is used again as a multiplier. So we're going to add force in this direction multiplied by move power. Okay. Ground ray length. Okay, jump. We have a jump we can use. And it's going to add force in the upward direction. Okay, this is our ball C# script. What's this user control? User control, it's a mono behavior, right? Ball, it's going to make a self-reference to itself. Private, you know the difference. Well, for the sake of our viewers, private means that this variable is being declared to only be used inside this script. Public means that other scripts can look at and see what's going on here. So let's see. Awake is always there. Get this component, whatever the game object name is. Assign it to this variable. Camera main. If camera main is not null meaning 0 or non-existent. I'm gonna keep making up words as we go. No camera found. You need a camera. Update. Get axis. So get axis. Horizontal and vertical. That could be assigned in the input, right? Like the input manager. So you can say that get horizontal axis is defined by left and right arrow, mouse left, like sliding the mouse left and right, or joystick, whatever, right? Same with vertical, and then the jump button. So we'll go. I'll show you. Let me take a note, and I will show you an example. By the way, don't get purple post-its; they're really hard to read. Example.
Unless you have like the proper color pen.
But it's like the thing is that this color, like you need like it's to create contrast. You need like a silver pen or like you know what I mean, like something light. Something. I think I actually might have something that'll do that, or like a really dark pen. All right. I don't. Fuck it. All right. So this basically, so let's go over these scripts just so that we can go back. Now that I go back to the level, I know what they do, so that I can assign them to the right thing. So the ball script, right, is going to go on whatever our main mover is, right? Does that make sense? Yeah. And then the user control is probably going to go there too, but this is where we define how we're going to control the ball, right? So you could have written this as one script, right? But this is nice because now I could say, oh, well, let's put the user controls on a dummy object and just keep it over here and keep it organized, and then this ball will get this. There's a couple of things that are interesting about that. We can do, let's see here. Let's see. Let's take the body, right? Where are we going to put our rigid body, do you think? On the body?
Yeah, on the body.
Yeah, technically we could put it on a dummy object too, and just make the dummy object the thing, right? Yeah. But let's do this. Let's put the ball script on the body, right? I can drag it up here, or I can drag it to the end of this. Can't add script, please fix compile errors. Oh, what compile errors? Cross platforms, assembly reference. Okay, let's go fix our. No, don't need that. Let's go fix this one. So did I accidentally type some shit in?
I don't think you added anything.
I don't think so either. Why you no compile? Let's build it. So I hit Command B or Control B to build the scripts here. And let's get our compile errors.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we got 7 errors. Let's go through it. Oh, I didn't bring in cross-platform input, did I?
I cannot remember.
So
no, I think we did. Maybe not. Maybe not.
I don't know. If it doesn't like it, what I did here is I actually I commented it out by using two forward slashes, right?
Yeah.
But what I do need to do is let's find the. Oh, okay, it is using cross-platform input here. Okay, let me go back here and see this. Did I bring it in? Standard assets, character, utility. I don't think I brought it in because I think I made the call that it was too much for us right now. But let's do cross-platform input. Let's bring it all in. Yeah, see, it said. Sorry, I went so fast. It had all greens because they were little green new tags. It's because I didn't have it in my project. Let's go back to mono developed. Let's actually go back to the top here, because that will actually give us compile errors now that I actually have it. Let's build it again. Which differ from the policy settings. No, let's just keep them all the same right now. Okay, now we're down to one warning. So where is it? What's our thing? What's going on?
Never seen that one before.
I haven't either. I may have caught it building at the wrong time. Pro Builder 2 is having compile errors. Never use, never use, never use. Type in namespace. I probably am. Okay, I'm going to ditch Pro Builder.
Pro Builder?
Yeah. I pulled it in at some point, and then I ended up not using it. I'm going to delete this stuff for now. Yep, let's delete this. Let's save our scene. BB-8. Look at that. I would have been really upset if we had a power outage and I lost the last 30 minutes of work. BB-8 prototype. All right. It's almost time that I start putting my scenes into a folder so they're not lost in this jumble, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's go to assets. And this is just create.
Organization folder. Is kind of everything, I'm realizing.
It is 100% everything. Sorry, I put it in the doors folder. Let's put it here. Assets. Let's grab our two assets. Let's move them into the scenes folder. And that way we can now find them a little easier. Okay, so that's not too bad. So UScript gave me a chunk. Let's go back to mono develop. Okay, let's build this again. Where does it want? Yeah, okay, so I deleted the Procore stuff, which is fine. It's not going to like that. But let's go here, cross-platform input. Editor, there was another one. Where did it say? I thought there was another piece in here.
UScript is being fussy.
It is, but that's fine. It does that sometimes right when you start up because technically it can't build since you haven't launched it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so sometimes it just doesn't. It doesn't like that. Procore editor menu items actions could not be found. What's calling that? PB menu items.cs minute editor. So I deleted this. Let's refresh. How do how do I refresh this? It should have auto refreshed, I thought, and gotten rid of that.
What does Procore do?
I'll show you. There's a is there something in here? Hold on. Let me quickly take a trip through our resources folder and see if I can if there's anything left that was Procore. Easy clouds, materials, textures, materials, models, resources, no. Scenes, standard assets has nothing. 3 doors. Tune particles shouldn't have anything. Use script. Okay. Actually, I bet you if I do this, let's kill that solution. We'll quit mono develop. So Procore, let's go to their asset store page. No, not the audio mixer. No. Asset store. Josh, it's like a 101 lesson. It's just you and me.
It's fine. It's fun.
Oh, cave system. Oh, that looks neat. Let's look at that.
I'm nervous anyway.
Why are you nervous? It's just
I'm on the internet.
I'm on the internet, and it's never going away. It's you and me forever, buddy.
I usually just hide, right? Like even like making a Twitter and putting up stuff I'm working on is like a huge step for me.
Yeah, I understand. So, let me see. I just did. This is one of the ways I shop in the asset store. Is I go to like, oh, well, that seems interesting, right? Like, let's look at this. Oh, what else did they build? I go look at the publisher, right? So, Procore. These are Pro Tools that were made by another game team, and they put them up. Prototype allows you to make Proto 3D objects, right? Pro Builder, and I have Pro. I don't remember what I have, but I've got a couple of these, right? But this is the complete bundle, $150. But you can try the prototype one, right? Which is what I had in there, and you can build all these proto bits and pieces. So when I come back and clean up BB-8, I was actually hoping that I could update my Procore. Let's get to it. To build it with, there's my prototype, which includes, which is what I was just showing you, right? Let's download this. Let's see if we've done this. So, what I was going to do today was actually pull something off of the asset store and do core gameplay in an hour, right? But we'll do that on another episode. I'm going to start going through the asset store of like, hey, let's pull stuff down that I think is useful, and then maybe do like some roulette with it. Do you know what I mean? Like I'll make a random number generator and we'll pop it out, and then we'll see what happens. So let's import. Did I import it? I did import it. New script saved. Yeah, let's clear this because I don't think that's valid anymore. I think we're all good to go.
All right.
So, it's tools, prototype, right? So I pulled prototype in. It gives me, under this tools tab, some options, right? Let's do geometry selection editor. There's a prototype window. There's a shape window. Let's do this. See this shape window I just got here? What I'm going to do is do a shape selector. It's so weird that they don't have a sphere on here. So strange, right?
No.
It's so weird that they don't have one. But let's do this. I think that's why I avoided it in the first place, because my brain was rememberizing that. So this is the thing that we can do, though. So I'll show you the way this works for just a quick second. This doesn't exist in your level quite yet, even though it's put there. I have to actually hit build cube, right? Because right now it's in like a limbo state, right? Stairs, prism, plane, pipe, right? So we've got like a hollow pipe, cone, right? Then that's one thing that's missing from Unity, is they don't have a proper cone, right? But what's nice is this is parametric, right? So let's go to the cube. Let's look at the cube, right? And I will look at it in, let's see, where's the, let's see, not shaded. Let's go to wireframe. Okay, shaded wireframe. So you can see the wires. There's only one face here, right? But let's build it. It got a prototype texture, right? So you can see it. But one of the things we can do is, instead of building this cube like this, we can do 2, 2, and 2 and make it bigger. We'll build another cube. Oh, look at that. But this time, so the same dimensions, no more faces. Oh, there we go. We want to show the preview. There we go. We'll go to this one. So you can build blocks of any size, right?
Yeah.
Now, this is what's cool about this. Let's go back to one of these, right? Go to our inspector, and it has these prototype bits and pieces, right? Let's go to Tools, Prototype, Editor, Toggle Selection Mode. I think what we can do is actually choose to, let's see, let's open the prototype window. I'm going to dock this one, because this is where it gets neat. So we can go to face. Let's do shaded. Hold on, you can't see it. There we go. See how I have one whole face, not selected. This is actually segments, right? I always forget that because I see 3 lines and I think that it's a full thing. And then you can also do this. Right?
Oh, I see what's... Okay, yeah.
Right? And then we can do lines. I can choose this line, right? This this piece, and extend it. Notice that the texture is nice and tiled, so it'll give us a thing, right? Then I can also do this whole face, right? And instead of moving it, like I can move it, I haven't actually changed the parameters of the geometry, right? Like it's still 4 points here with a full face. Now what I can do is actually extrude it. And what I've done is actually created a whole nother set here, right? And then I can do, take this one, let's extrude it again. Right, and then now I have a full, thing to deal with, right?
So it's still counting as one object. It's basically like, instead of, like, anytime I've made stuff like this, I've had to go into Blender or another program,
yes,
there, and then bring it back over.
Correct. So
with it, make it right in Unity.
What I've done, I've got a texture issue here. Oh, it fixed itself. So what I've done is created a T section, right?
Yeah.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? So you can actually do some very simple modeling with this, right? And that's the whole reason I use Prototype. So let's do this. Ditch these things. Delete. Let's go ahead and fix the head. As long as we're on this, you've led me there through questions. Let's go back to, don't worry about that. Go to Tools, Prototype, Selection, Geometry. There's a way to edit this, like turn this selection into a into confetti. No, turn it into a editable. Some things have changed. Let's see, selection. Grow selection geometry. No, repair. Actions, generate. No, that's not it. I don't want that. There used to be a way to turn this into an editable object. I wonder, let's go back to my window. Go to Asset Store. This is all the stuff that I've got. Let me see if I've got other Procore stuff. Because what I want to do is Quick Mesh Edit. I think I already have this. Yes, I do. Quick Edit. So let me import this. It's a $10 add-on. It lets you do a little bit more than create prototypes, right? So what I showed you, the free version, is you have to author all your own stuff, right? I'm pulling in Quick Edit so I can actually do. Let's see, Tools. There it is. Quick Edit. Open up the Quick Edit window. Let's see, I should be. Oh, hold on. Cancel. Let's type the name. 8 head. I'll just call it QE for Quick Edit. Okay. So now what I've done is cancel. Is I've opened up. I've turned this into a quick edit thing, right? So it popped all the verts for me. Change. Yeah. I think if I change this. Oh wow! It's going to let me touch every individual vert. You can't really make sense of it unless I'm moving it, right? Like you can see that they're sort of in line.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Wow.
It's difficult. But I can see it. Let me see if I can get you another bit here. I wonder if I can.
And as long as you can select a group, right, you should be able to.
Yes. So what I'm going to do is do the equivalent of. Quick Edit is literally a vert editor. Let's look at this from straight on the side, right? There. Let's go to 2D actually. Okay, now you can kind of see it, right? What I'm going to do is take select all of those verts, move them up. I missed some. Let's see if I can do this. No, yes, no, maybe so. Some.
Is it not selecting the ones in the back? Or?
I think so. Doesn't matter because I'm gonna move them in sort of groups anyway. So let's see if we can just move them all up. This is a lot more detailed than I really need BB-8 to look, right? But I'll show you the tool so that we can get to it. Okay, everything should be getting pretty close now. Right. And this is a proto, right? So I don't really need it to be
super detailed, perfect,
awesomely exact. So I just want to get it sort of emulating the shape that we think we want. All right, let's go back to 3D. Okay. Honestly, I could probably delete a bunch of those verts. It's done. Okay.
That'll probably work for now.
Yeah, it's fine. But what I think I can do, let's go to change, select tools, prototype, editor selection. I think what we can do is, hold on.
What are you looking for?
I was looking for change the selection level, but that's okay. Let's just live with this. I'm not gonna whatever. I can actually jump on like Turbo Squid or something probably and pull a model. Okay, that'll do. He has like an iceberg bottom, but I'll open it up in Cheetah later. Okay, so let's start actually assigning these scripts to him, right? So now we should be able to add these scripts. No, what's this one? Toggle select mode. Yeah, so it doesn't like. I think Procore needs some help here. I'm gonna ditch it. Deleted. Okay.
Oh.
Say what?
Did it get rid of the?
It did. No. Hold on. Oh, that's fine. I'll just make another one.
Okay. Yeah, we just.
Yeah.
Okay, for now.
Yeah. We will make another one, and then do the object, sphere, inspector, head. Attach this to the body again. Move it to 0. Let's see. Move it 1 above. Make it 0.25 tab. 0.25 tab. 0.25. No, not 25. 0.25. Right. 1 above is too far. This would be like 5.5. There we go. We're a little closer. And let's do it at 0.6. All right. We're back to where we were. Right? Except Procore, let me see if Quick Edit is in here. Do you see Quick Edit? I think it got added to Procore. Let's save this and see if we...
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe we won't do that. Just get moving, I guess.
Yep. Let's just do it. So, one of the things I thought about doing, let's grab this. Let's add a rigid body to it to make it... let's go to physics, right? Rigid body. So you need a rigid body to actually do things like define its mass. I'm going to make him two units in mass, which I'm just going to call kilograms, right? And we won't mess with drag yet, or angular drag, but we are going to use gravity. And if we use gravity, one thing we're going to have to do is give it something to collide with, because I think...
The plane probably has collision, right? So it's okay.
I think we're okay.
Yeah.
Right? We can. Let's double check this. Let's move take BB-8 and move. Oh, there we go. Because I'm still in play mode, right? So he actually landed on the plane.
All right.
Right. So okay, we're good to go. So let's look at the plane. I want to make sure that this is a ground plane. It has a mesh collider, right? That should be enough. So now the body has a rigid body, right? Collision detection, discrete, interpolate none, is kinematic. We are going to animate him, so we will use that at some point, right? We could do restraints, right? But I'll show you those for the head. So now the head is going to go where the body goes, but let's do what we just did, which is add a rigid body, and let's actually make his head, it's a little lighter, right? Let's call it half the mass, so which is 1. Not touch any of this other stuff, and let's do this. Notice it popped up.
Yeah.
The reason it did that is it's actually correct. See where its collision is?
Oh, right. We didn't change the collider. We just changed the...
Right, we just changed the visual shape. So this is something that messes with me sometimes. Because the collider is represented by something that's so ethereal, right? In other words, just a gizmo. You have to bring the collider in, right? So let's look at the head. Let's make his collider, sphere collider, right here, right? And the radius. So the thing is, it's kind of a hassle about this is a sphere collider it's a sphere. It's always going to be a sphere, right? So hold on. Let's see this edit collider. There's no points for me to fiddle with because it's a freaking sphere, right? So what we can do is instead of a sphere collider, we can look at let's remove this collider, right? Let's select our head is still selected. Go to component, physics, mesh collider, right? And the mesh that we want to use is the mesh that's being used here, right? I think that's correct.
I think so. Like if you look, you should see head, and you could find it. I think.
Yes. Let's look at the mesh collider. Yep, it should be fine. Let's. Use convex material. It should be using the sphere mesh, right, that we have. I think it auto adapts.
They did it?
Yeah, let's go look at it. Well, let's just play it. Let's see if it worked. Did the head pop up? Oh, it sure did, but where did it go?
Ooh.
I think we launched it.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, I think we launched it into space. Because it started out colliding, right? So.
Oh yeah, there it goes.
Oh,
it's like way up there.
Did it land? Oh, okay.
No.
Oh,
it
okay.
Actually, it was negative.
Right.
Negative Y. So.
See that the. Oh, it fell, right? Because.
Yeah. I guess it launched and it fell.
Oh yeah, I think it's actually. Oh, it's still going. Still going. And there it goes. I bet you we can look down into... It's down there somewhere. All right. So part of the reasons, let's go back and talk about that a little bit. So is it actually colliding? I don't think... I wonder if this mesh collider is actually the correct bit here. Let's take this mesh collider and move it up so I can see it. It should be affected by the scale. Let's take this sphere thing, right? Let's go find our mesh, because I think it's using a round mesh still. Look at that. It should be using this one. But what I want to do is, where is this guy? Do you see where he's at? It should be in our regular assets. Resources. Let's do all models. It should be called a sphere. Correct? Correctamundo? Correctamundo? You know what?
That's what we named it, right? Like, I think that's how.
No, this is the default one, and the default meshes are actually kind of protected.
Oh.
So you can't really get to them to start doing. Shit, let's not actually do convex. Let's do this. This again. Pew! Yeah, it's dropped. So gravity is dropping it through. Let's actually turn off gravity for a second. It's not colliding, so I don't think we've got the right collider on there. What I need to do is actually, I'm going to try and find a way to do this without, okay, using gravity. Let's see if I push it inside, what happens. No, nothing. Yeah, I don't think it has a collider, but it has mass. So the mass is actually dropping it through everything, right? So instead of a mesh collider, since I can't really fiddle around with that mesh, what I want to do is, what I was trying to do is find the sphere, right, where it is, and then save this object as something else. So basically duplicate it. But since I'm not sure how to touch this thing in my assets, let's go to all models. Let's sphere. It's not gonna like it. Not gonna do it. Yeah, so I can't even get to it to do that, right? So what I can do is actually, I think I am gonna open up. Let's ditch this head for a second. I'm gonna delete it. Spheres are always a little bit tricky. What I'm gonna do instead is let's drop a capsule on there, right? And what I'll do is we will use the capsule collider, which will be a little bit more forgiving, right? And we will do, let's see, 0.5, and change the radius to 0.5 as well, and 0.5, and we almost end up with the same thing, right? It's not exactly the same, but we're a little closer. Notice that the capsule, though, collapsed into kind of a spherish piece, right? Now, can I actually edit this one?
I don't think it'll get smaller
than the sphere. Actually, what you don't do it that way. Here, I'll do this. You change the height of the capsule. And what it does now is it's cool because now we have a radius and a height to deal with, whereas when we had a sphere, all we had was a radius, right? Yeah. So now I can take this height and go 0.5, and I think that should work. No? Yes? No? Yes? Yes? No? Okay.
Yeah, because I remember I was doing something with the capsule, and it was like it's always going to have those ends, so you're always going to kind of have a sphere.
What a pain in the ass, right? Okay, let's leave it as a capsule for a second. I don't want to do that. That is actually a little bit more reflective of where it's at, right?
Yeah, that'll work. I think that's okay.
Let's do this. Radius is 0.5. Let's do 0.25. Okay, the radius will give me the top on that. Height. Okay, let's do 0.5 again. There we go. Well, actually, and let's do this one as 5. Okay, and what I'm going to do is actually make the center of the collider a little taller. Right? So basically, it'll collide more on top. It'll have a little more clearance.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And we'll move the center of this collider up a little bit, which we could have done with the sphere, but I was trying to get fancy. So let's ditch fancy. Don't let perfect get in the way of good, right?
Get functional.
Yes, let's get functional first. That's what we're doing. Okay, now let's hit play and see Oh, actually, I need to add my rigid mesh back to it. Physics, rigid body, sorry. Rigid body, use gravity, and let's go. Okay, did you see it settle?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's gonna settle for us. Let's see what happens. Oh, what happened? I moved, and it came off, right? But what if I did this? And let's actually move it to. Oh, it's got forces. I moved it into spot. Let's reset. Let's put the capsule, attach it to just the BB-8 empty object, and let's see what happens. Right? Now I'm going to move. Okay, so now do you see what's happening is I'm inheriting motion from the core object, but now they're kind of drifting because physics has sort of forced them out of there, right? Now let's move just the body.
And the head should just...
It should just drop, right? So, I mean, it's one of those things, like, you should play with the physics, right? But what we want to do, and notice that what's going on here is actually we are going to have to drop a rigid body on this BB-8 dummy object. I jumped ahead a little bit. Let's move this back to 0 here, because what we want to do is add a joint to connect them, right? Actually, if I put the capsule and attach it to the body, let's see what happens then, right? So now the body is the parent of the capsule head, correct? Right?
Yeah.
Let's go back into here. Let's move BB-8 around and see what happens. Okay, so it's going to inherit the movement of this, but that took over, right? And it said, oh, apply those physics forces, and everybody's all effed. Right? So this hierarchy is nice because in script we can call it a child, but in physics it's not really giving us a whole lot. Right? What we need to do is actually attach a joint, and this was the whole point of doing BB-8 today. Is let's go look at our components. Let's go to physics, and let's add a hinge joint. Let's see if that works. Right? Hinge joint, connected body. I'm going to attach it to the body, right? And let's go see where the anchor is. The anchor currently, I think, is at the center of this. So let's go look at this hinge joint. Connected anchor. Oh, okay. So it's 0.8. Well, let's just see how this plays.
Yeah, I've never used joints before, actually. So.
And here we go. So I'm going to move everything around. No, no, yes, no. Yes, no. Let's see what happens when I drop it. Nope. Gravity. So it seems to be... oh, there we go. So now that I'm moving the body around, right, it's... I'm sorry, the head, right, it's hinged in there. So let's do this. Let's rotate him. When I rotate, they're now connected. Do you see? Right?
Yeah.
Okay, but that's not exactly the behavior that we want, is it?
No.
What we want is for the head to stay where it is. So let's freeze position Y. Sorry, not on the body, on the head. Let's freeze position Y. That means that it's, in the physics simulator, it won't move up and down. Right? So let's try that and go back to our scene. Let's play around with it. Get to this. Actually, I think today just turned into a physics lesson. Let's just stick with it, right? So physics colliders and stuff. Okay, so it's inheriting rotation, right? It's still going to go down in the worldwide, but notice that it didn't change its sort of spot from there. So freezing Y didn't help us as far as getting the sort of like behavior we wanted, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's freezing Y to the sphere, like as its parent, so it's staying there. But
yeah. So let's go back to this hinge joint. Let's look at this, because maybe what we need to do is fiddle with the joint, right? So we can put limits Actually, let's go back to the rigid body for a second because it's sharing exactly the same mass. Actually, it's half the mass of the body, right? Because the mass of this body is 2, and this is 1. I think it could be a little lighter. Let's go down to like 0.5. All right. Let's go into this joint. So the best way to kind of learn these joints is actually, is play around with it. Experimentation, right? One of the nice things is you can click this open reference, right? Go to your Unity reference. Here, let's kill this window. Open the reference, and it'll explain to you what all these bits and pieces are, right? So we can say, here's our hinge joint, blah, blah, blah. Groups here with 2 rigid bodies, constraining them to move like they are connected by a hinge. It is perfect for doors, but can be also used to model chains, pendulums, etc. Right? Maybe hinge joint is not exactly what we want if the body is the sort of anchor for it, right? Maybe we should actually have the capsule anchored to, the body anchored to the capsule. Does that make sense? It doesn't.
Show me.
It doesn't actually, because what'll end up happening is, let's say we move the actually here. Let's go back here. We should be able to add a controller now, right? Scripts. I'll do it this way. Do you see the ball controller? No. Okay, let's go to our. So I think it's important. I'm gonna quit fiddling with this other stuff. Put.
You just do search.
Yeah, but I'm stunned. Oh, it's standard assets, character utility. Rollerball. I could just bring in their rollerball.
You could.
Right? But I do want you to see all of the sort of bits and pieces for building this. Oh, there we go. Hey. All right. So let's do that, and I'll attach the. Let's put rollerball on here. Change him to 000. Let's ditch. Put this capsule on the rollerball. Let's take the body out. Capsule now needs to hinge joint off of the rollerball, right? And then the anchor is. Do you understand the XYZ of this anchor?
For the hinge joint?
Yes.
Not completely, no.
So what you're telling it to do is, where's the center of, where is the anchor from, in relation to the rigid body you're attached to, right? So let's put it at 0. And the anchor should be in the center of the other thing, I think. Oh, sorry, this is where the connected anchor is. 0. Turn that back on. You know what? I'm gonna kill this again. None. If you choose none, your connected anchor is quote unquote the world, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah. But let's do this again. All right. There we go. It auto configured. So you see this 0.717? It connected us at 0.7 units away from the main rollerball. Let's get the camera to. Standard assets. Isn't there a camera in here? Let's do this.
What are we trying to do now?
I'm gonna stick a. I was gonna put a camera script on it, but I guess I didn't bring those in, did I? Component. Scripts. Let's go look at the rollerball. Maybe I can define the camera here. I didn't actually look at it. Mesh render, collider, rigid body, ball script, ball. User ball control. Is there? Oh, it's looking for the main camera, right? Didn't we see that in our when we looked at the script? I thought we did.
The ball control script.
Yeah.
Main camera.
Okay. All right. Let's play it and let's see what it does again. Okay. Not too shabby. Hold on. Let's get there. We're getting close. So I'm going to do this the sort of budget way. I'm making the main camera a child of the BB-8 object, right?
Yeah.
And what it'll do is it'll pull the camera around. So let's go to play. Yeah. Oh, actually, it's not doing that. Doot! Oh, you know why? It's because it's not actually. So what I'm doing is I'm leaving behind my parent object. Let's actually make.
Right, because the script to move the rolling this rolling control script.
Right. Whoops.
Not to the parent, not to the.
Correct. So I'm going to separate the rollerball for now because I was jumping ahead of myself with this this dummy object. So I'm going to delete this. We'll just call the rollerball what it is. So this should work. Let's do this. Right, because I attached it to the ball, and it's not doing anything to keep its own orientation, right? But that's what happens when you get a. Let's see here. Let's do. Instead of doing that, right? What we want to do is have the camera follow the other guy. So what we'll do is let's actually go to our use script now because this will be faster to do. Let's do the just go to the main one. New, add, action. Event. What we're gonna do is every frame I want to action camera. Get camera. Update camera orbit. There should be a look at. Let's do look at game objects. Look at. See, and I'm going to do on late update because I want the ball to move. If you think about it in time slices, right? It's like these three things happen in sequence. Update happens, which means anything you've told it to happen in update happens right now. On late update is like when all of that stuff is done, now do this, right?
Yeah.
But what happens is like those things happen on an event cycle, not on necessarily a time cycle, right? Like it's basically there's sequential. Do this, then do these. So the point of doing this on late is after the ball has moved, then I want the camera to look at it, right? Because if you do them both at the same time, basically you're not guaranteeing that the camera is going to look to its new position.
Like they're kind of fighting in a way. It's smoother.
Right, it's a little smoother. But fixed update is actually what you want to do when you're sort of involving two physics objects. Is if you drop frames, right, or you're starting to have like heavy sort of computational cycles going on, your update and late update might actually end up separating as far as how much time happens in between them. And also, the time in between updates might start to sort of go because the way it's working is sequentially. Do all of this stuff, then do it again, right? But on fixed update is basically working off of the system clock of like, at this increment in time, update, right? Does that make sense? So think about...
Yeah, actually, that helps a lot because I kind of know how to use those, and I kind of knew what they did, but I've never had it given to me that clearly.
Yeah, so basically, fixed update is going to happen no matter what every frame, right? But you don't necessarily want that. You have to understand the relationship between those three, because you could end up having like some delays in your updates or late updates, right? And you don't want that in your physics, because you'll end up with bad simulations, right? Or like anomalies, or shit will fly out in the space, right? So now we have a look at target. We're going to add a variable. It's purple, so let's add a game object. Notice that the game object variable is purple. We'll match the colors, this game object. Let's go pick from our scene. Let's always look at the roller ball. Focus. What is the focus? Item to focus on. Oh, whoops, sorry. Let's actually delete that. I think target. Yes, okay. The reason it's a game object thing is because you can actually have any object look at another object. It doesn't have to be a camera. This is not necessarily a camera control, right? So
right.
I'm going to go in here. We're going to grab the main camera. I'm going to do my sort of mission control trick. Right. Drop this in here. Drop it in as a game object instead of a camera. Right? And this is the thing that's going to look at focus. The reason it's white is that there's multiple types of variables that it can take, which is, if you look down here, you can take a vector 3. Come on, give me the thing. Come on, Jimmy. Uncle Jimmy? Uncle Jimmy? Dude, what is going on with my precision on my mouse? You see that? It's like flipping. Alright, screw it. You're just going to have to read it small. The item to focus on, right?
I can read it.
So it can say vector 3 or game object. What I can do is define a point in space script-wise and move that point without you seeing it in script instead of an object. But for this, we're just going to take the roller ball and do my mission control action. If I had two screens, I would just drag it over to this window, right? Place the game object, right? So wherever this game object is, we're going to look at it. I'm going to leave this as 0 seconds so that there's no lag, right? But it will look at it exactly on time. Let's save the graph. Let's rebuild all the graphs. And come back here and we will see how this works for us. Is it done compiling? I'm so impatient.
I've gotten impatient with compiling.
Yeah.
I want to make separate. I don't know. It's just gotten longer.
No, I don't think it's done compiling. I jumped the gun. I think that was what was happening to me last week when I was having script issues. Yeah, it's still compiling. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. The only drawback of doing this in my other thing is it's also actually compiling all of my door scripts.
Oh, because you're still in the same project, right?
Yeah, correct.
So it's still looking at all those too, yeah.
Yep. So, hold on. I'm going to drop this float in, and I'll show you what this does. Look at... let's just call it delay. Let's make it public. Save debug. Let's build it again.
Oh, it's going to be like how long the camera's going to take to catch up?
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Still compiling. I'm going to have to be patient. Oh. Hi, Proxy. Oh, okay. So you're in charge of that. When people start chatting and you're watching, you have to let me know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's your job. Since you're my co-pilot today.
Okay. Watch chat.
Yeah. But don't. When somebody shows up, don't call them out unless they actually say something.
Okay.
Because people.
Yeah, that's kind of putting someone on the spot or whatever.
Yeah, people like to lurk.
I like lurking. I'm a lurker. By nature. They're saying being on camera.
All right.
So
So,
the camera's focusing. Yeah.
well, it's looking at, right? Which doesn't mean that it's,
Oh, it's not. Oh.
right. So what the key I'm holding right now is just the S key, but it's doing weird behavior because it's trying to add force, and the head it's weighing me down, man. Right? It's kind of awesome. Okay, so now let's look at our capsule. Let's see if we can get. We got basic input. Let's see if we can start to do some work over here. I wonder if we can freeze his Y rotation, and let's not allow him to rotate at all, right? So I'm going to freeze all those rotations. Let's see if that freezes him to his joint. So yeah, okay. Notice at least his head is staying level.
Yeah.
Right, and what we've made is a. I'm just trying to add just enough force to get it up to the top. Hold on, it's a game in itself. Okay, you see that the head is staying level, so it's not rotating in relation to the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've made like a weird, like hop along character. Whipper?
Kaboom.
Kaboink? Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna move the camera over some because.
Now it's not rotating, but we want it to stay above the body.
Right.
Look at how he moves again.
Say what?
I'm gonna look at how he moves again.
Okay. Well, he rolls with his head level, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it only leans a little bit.
So yeah, it bobbles, but it bounces, right?
Yeah, a bit.
So what I've done actually, and this is interesting, is maybe we have the wrong joint. Because we actually don't want to inherit rotation from the ball at all.
Yeah.
Right? But in the physical space, you think of it that way, as it's a rotational joint. Let's change the joint. Let's go back to this capsule. I'm going to rename it as head for now. Right? Let's sort of go through this, and we're on an investigative mission, Josh. Investigative. We're going to discover. Yeah.
I don't have a magnifying glass.
Investigation discovery. So instead of that, let's do let's try a fixed joint. Is that a simpler joint for us to use, right?
That sounds promising.
Yeah, so it's fixed, so he'll always stay attached to this thing, but what does that do? I don't know. Actually, I've never used a fixed joint. Okay, so it's actually not going to do anything. Because I think what I need to do is connect it. Okay, now let's try it again. All right. Come on. Am I in this world? You know what I did is I actually fixed them both.
Oh.
Right? Because... Say what?
No, never mind.
Yes, exactly. So let's do this. Basically, how we would use this, and now that I'm looking at it, right, is let's go back to the head. How we would want to use this is there's no brake force. So a fixed joint, right? Like you want to use your brake force as basically this is something that holds two things together, right?
Okay.
And if I hit it hard enough, they'll separate. Does that make sense?
Somewhat.
So, for instance, let's say I set up a pyramid of champagne glasses, right?
Yeah.
Well, actually, champagne, that's the wrong context. Let's say I set up a bunch of cans, right? Like a pyramid of cans. And instead of relying on them settling by physics, I actually have them attached to each other. And then broke it. Actually, that's kind of like a bad example too. Think of it as like Kinects. You know, the toy?
Yeah.
Where they're connected to each other. If you push hard enough, they'll break apart, right?
Right.
That's essentially what this is. It's kind of like a Lego joint.
Okay.
Right? So two things are attached together. If you hit it hard enough, it'll split them. Right? And then allow them to do their physics thing. So, you know, or it's like Voltron. Right? If you hit it hard enough, one of the lions will come off.
Does that ever happen to Voltron?
I don't think so. They've just always had problems getting to, getting the blue lion attached. Because that's apparently where they have all of their power.
Blue lion?
Did you watch a lot of old school Voltron?
I watched it, but like I don't remember anything very well.
Oh, okay. Well, they always had problems with the princess. I thought it was always kind of sexist. Right? They're like, oh my god. They're like, oh my god, they kidnapped the princess and her lion, right? And like, we can't start Voltron without the blue lion. That's where all our power is. And I was like, who puts the battery in one leg? What? This is terrible. Terrible.
When you had toys, right? No, the battery's usually like in the back or like in the body.
Or something, right? But I mean, basically, they're like, oh, but the power core. Let's put it in the blue lion. Who puts it in the leg, dude? Who puts it in the leg? I'm just saying. Okay, so let's go back. Oh, no, I didn't want to connect it to itself. Let's head it connect. So I put a spring joint on there, right? Let's see how this works. We're going to enabling collision on this. What does that do? Let's see. Enable collision. Should the two connected objects register collisions with each other? Yes, because I don't want them to interpenetrate necessarily, right? Or is that going to make things complicated? I don't know. Let's not fiddle with it. Auto configure connection. There's our connection. Enable processing torque. This time I am going to freeze position on Y because you're going to see that. You'll see what I mean. Okay, now. Well, so what it wants to do is settle. Let me try and get it. Let's get the head. Let me see if I can get it up above. It's actually pulling on both. Right? See how it's like wobbling?
Yeah.
As it's trying to settle the head to the same distance. Like it's trying to maintain this distance, right? And what we can do is change the dampening to 1. Let's change the spring. Let's go back and look at this again. What is this? Spring. Strength of the spring. It's currently at 10, right? Let's change the strength of that spring. Well, let's try 1, right? So we can see what happens. Notice it's sort of like it's falling to the side, right? Mm-hmm. It's because the spring's not very strong. So if I move, right, like that's how much it's going to try and fight to stay in position, like its original position, relative to the ball. So I think where it is underground. Yeah. Somewhere. See how it's hanging now? Oh.
Oh, okay.
Right? And so since the spring is not very strong, it's going to let it dangle, right? Let's go back to 10, right? And we should see that the ground is kind of in the way. So let's grab our... Oh, come on. Let's just move him to 10 units above. No? Yes, no? Oh, come on, you stubborn... Okay, let's just start it over and see. Okay, go back to our head. Let's make the string extremely strong, right?
Physics on their own are just so much fun.
So what? Yeah, they can be, right? That's one of the magical pieces of Angry Birds is the perception of physics in that game.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's true, huh?
Yep. Okay, so it's really strong, but right? However, the spring joint is always going to be facing up on the ball's Y. Right? Do you see what I'm saying?
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, on the balls, why?
Yeah, see, so it's trying to stay at that part of the ball, which is not quite the behavior we want, right?
Yeah.
Ooh, brow, brow. Okay, what we actually want to do, and freezing position didn't seem to help that, did it? Right? It didn't freeze our position on Y at all. But we got the freeze all rotation. How about maybe I'm connecting to the wrong object? Maybe I need to actually do something like, let's see here. Create empty. Attach this to the roller ball, right? So let's keep this object at 0, 0, 0. It should go along everywhere the roller ball goes, right? I'm going to walk through this step by step so you understand what my logic is doing. Oh, see? It's trying to get at its spring distance. See, where's our game object? Our game object is in the center of the roller ball, right? So let's go back to game, and let's move this over. Let's go back to scene. You see, it follows the roller ball wherever it goes, right? So it's attached to it. Well, the game object's not doing anything because it has no physics. Correct? Like, it's not inheriting anything from the roller ball. But what we can do now is actually attach this head instead of to the... I might have to do something else. Let's see.
Yes, we're trying to get the head to stay in the same Y position in world space.
Yeah.
Right? But follow the ball.
Correct. That is right.
I mean, so basically we gotta attach it to something that's not gonna rotate.
Correct. Or give it some behavior that... so I actually pulled it off of the roller ball. And what I'm going to do is give this game object a rigid body. It's rigid body. The reason being is I want it to... okay, let's make him not rotate. Let's see. Call that ball center. I'll take the head. So notice I took the head off of the roller ball hierarchy. Because I have a joint, it almost doesn't matter now. Right?
Yeah.
That's an organizational thing. But let's have this, instead of attaching to that, attach to the what I've just called the ball center. Right? And let's see how that goes for us. So what we should get is actually a head that stays level. Not level, but it'll stay... Whoa! Leaders! So, see, our ball center broke off of the roller ball. So it's just dangling and hanging on to our piece. So having the ball center be part of the roller ball is not the right solution either, right? How do we do this, Josh? How are we going to do this?
My joints are kind of tricky.
See what?
Like, you could do it by script, right? And just say,
I could, and in fact, I think that's probably the better way to do this. So let's talk about what we want to do. So I'm going to remove this ball center. There's no way that I think I'm going to get this to work exactly by physics, right? I do want some of this springiness because of that sort of like brown thing, but let's come back and do that later. So I am actually going to call this is kinematic. I'm going to remove this spring joint. Actually, I'm just going to remove this. Actually, he does need collision because let's say he needs to get shot or do something like that, right?
Yeah.
But I'm going to call it don't use gravity on this guy. Well, actually, you want to watch this? This is actually going to work pretty nicely, actually. So the head won't fall because I'm not using gravity and it's kinematic, but he should stay attached to the roller ball. right? But it's attached to the Y, right? So he's doing his thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's not so bad. But now that it doesn't pay attention to gravity and we don't have a joint anymore, I can come back and do create empty, attach this to the roller ball, have the head attached to the game object, and whoops, sorry, I did that. I did that with the play on, so it's not going to give me that edit.
Yeah, it won't save it. I hate when I forget that.
Okay, so now we're still using physics for the. Oh right, let's go to this game object. I don't want it to inherit rotation. So I make this 0, 0. Head is. Where's my head? Where's my head, Josh? Okay, let's call this. Yeah. 0, 0, 0. Let's move him back up on Y a little bit. Okay. Freeze rotation, freeze position Y. Let's see what that does.
Oh, I mean, we probably gotta freeze all positions.
Freeze what?
Oh, can you roll it real quick, maybe?
Yeah, I'm trying to roll it. It's turning. See it turning? So what I've done is attached basically an anchor to. Let's move the head up a little bit and see it. Do this. There we go. It's preventing the ball from moving because it was penetrating and not using gravity. So I had it pinned, right, like wrestling style. Right, and I think I still have it pinned. See how it's turning, but I'm not getting anything out of it, right? Because I think on my head, I've got it pinned down somehow.
Is the rollerball pinned down?
Yeah, it's pinned.
Okay.
Right, here, watch this. Take the game object off. Come back to this window. Hey. Mickey Ficky me. Mickey Ficky you. Oh, you know why? I changed the head spring joint piece. No. Anything. Bueller. Is
what's the rollerball doing?
I don't know. Let's look at it. I thought I had it pinned. Did I make an edit and not pay attention? No, it says it's rotating. Like, look at the numbers update.
Like a little bit. I don't know what happened.
Oh, wait. Hold on. I think I still do have it pinned. Okay, you see my collision? See, my collision is actually penetrating the ball.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Yeah, I had it pinned, right? So, move the collision out of there, right? Let's take the radius. Let's move it up to 0.5. It's a little closer. Okay, now let's take this game object and attach it to the roller ball again. So I think that's what we want. So at least we've got it attached again, right? Oh, laters. Laters. Let's try and let's play it again. Let's freeze the rotation of our Jimmy Jams, and we only want to freeze rotation on X and Z, I think. Okay, let's go to script. Right, I've reached the end of my patience. I'm just gonna go make it happen. Right, I'm gonna leave the head attached to here. Let's get rid of this game object. Delete. The head actually doesn't need. I'm gonna ditch this rigid body. Remove component. Let's attach this head to the ball. We only needed the rigid body because I was going to do a spring joint on it, but we're gonna ditch that for now, right? Because I wanted to get that nice like bobble, bobble, right? But okay, so we're good. We're good with this for now. Okay, now let's go to use script. So let's think about this. Let's go to the ball controller, and I will attach this to just the roller ball, right? And what we want to do is just have the head follow, right? So
have the head float above the roller ball wherever it's going.
Right. So add events, game events, global updates on update. So every update action, game object, movement. Set position of what we're going to do is we're going to set a position. If you think about it this way, here we have this roller ball. What we want is a position that's above the roller ball, right? Somewhere up here. But first we need to get the position of the roller ball. So every frame, let's add action, game object, get. Should we position and rotation? Right? So on update, get the position and rotation of variable game object. Drop this game object in. Let's see. Let's just call this BB-8. Sorry, 8 body. Let's expose this to Unity. I will define it in a second. Then it will output this position, right? As a yellow, which is a vector 3, and variable vector 3. So this is its XYZ position, right? We don't care about the rotation, so I'm going to ditch this. Okay. Can you dig it? All right.
Dig it.
So here's his position. We don't want to set it to that position. What we want to do is on update, after we get this position, we want it to be this position, but plus, let's look at it. Let's attach the head plus 0.7. Let's just call this 0.7, right? All right, and I'm going to actually remove the head.
Right, said hello.
Say what? Oh!
Hello.
Hi, Riken27. What's going on? Just to catch you up, Josh is my former colleague and friend, and he's our guest co-host today / co-pilot. We're making a functional BB-8. I'm probably not going to do any textures today, just to get this ball to roll around how we want him to, so that we can start to talk about maybe making a Star Wars fan film, right? Or a Star Wars BB-8 game. Maybe we can do like Marble Madness, but with BB-8. Right. So what I'm doing now is I'm trying to get the head to stay above the body. All right? Right on. Well, welcome to the show. Get yourself a cup of coffee. I'm all out. Okay, so we're going to get the position of the body, right? And then what we're going to do is take this vector and add action, maths, vectors, add vector 3. Yeah, that should work. Okay, let's put this in here. We're going to take this vector, wherever this is, and we're going to add 0.7 on the y axis, right? And then we're going to get a result, another vector, and this should be 0.7. Sorry, that will be his new position. Add. No. Tiger
uppercut.
Yep, tiger uppercut. Tiger. Oh, I'm glad you caught that.
I caught so many tigers in the face because I don't place the guy. I just get hit by everything.
Oh.
No, that's okay. I like the big characters.
Yeah. Right. Head. Okay. File. Let's save this graph. Let's save debug. Okay. Well, this is compiling. I'm going to go get some coffee. So, Josh, talk to me so I don't get lost in the vortex back here.
Me talk.
Yep.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. Well, what else is
I
going
have
on?
a confession actually.
Say what?
I don't drink coffee.
Yeah, well, that's right. You're a super healthy tune guy.
Like I've been hiding my smoothie off screen. So like I'm on coffee with frost, so I can't.
But you can host Smoothie with Josh. Smoothie with Josh. It's a smoothie. It's smoothie time with Josh. Okay, so now I am brute force going to update his position. Okay, that's not working. Actually, you know why? Because I didn't tell it what objects to deal with. Oh, it's not done compiling, is it? Public? Did I make this one public? Yeah. So debug. So slow.
Compile.
Actually, you just missed that. So I was parenting linking it at that point, but what I was getting here, let's do that while we're at it. Well, actually, let's see if my what I was getting was what it should be doing, right? Is that the head rolls with it, but what we want is the head to stay on top, right? So we could. None of our previous experiments with freezing positions or adding different joints, etc., was giving us any help. I think we could actually use the rotator joint and have it and tell it to stay upright the whole time. But for the sake of time, I wanted to sort of move forward and get back into some script. So let's look at. It's the BB controller. Let's do this. Rollerball. I will add this as a new script graph. There we go. There's the part. So I didn't assign the script that I just made.
Oh.
Yeah.
There you go.
Rollerball, and for our head, and I'll form the head. Okay.
Yay!
There, we've got it. Right. So now we've got the ball rolling. We've got the head following along. The ball feels kind of heavy, and our ground is kind of small. Let's actually take our ground plane. Let's make it 10 times the size. Okay, now let's actually do something similar for the camera. Notice nothing is connected right now because I'm doing it all over here in this use script. What I'm gonna do is this. Okay, I'm gonna put some names on these. New vector. Let's call this.
Wait, what are we trying to do now?
I'm gonna make the camera follow.
Okay.
Okay. Let's call this original body position. Okay. Now I can read this script as we go. Okay. On update, get the position of the body. What is that as a vector 3? This is an arrow pointing out. Then next we will add to that vector value, and here I did it down here as a y. Here, I'll do it so we can see it. And we don't have to look into the inspector. Add 0.7, right? On the y-axis, the result is out here, and this, when it's running, should look like 0. Or actually, the x and z should be changing, and the 0.7 should stay static. And then let's set the position of the head to this new vector position. Now I'm going to get a little tricky here. Is on this event, game events, global updates, on fixed update, sorry, on late update, right? Let's get, actually, let's make this public. Let's not. I'm going to do this way because in the BB-8 Proto, I'm actually changing the camera to look at. I'm going to ditch that and put it back on, sort of on here.
So we're gonna have the camera. Like, what's the camera gonna do? It's gonna be like behind them, or?
Yeah, I was thinking of something behind the behind the body. But I wonder if there is a node that we can use that's already kind of like this. Let's look inside of our actions. Camera. Set camera relative rotation. Let's see what that does. Oh, that's get camera relative rotation. Hold on.
Yeah.
Update camera orbit. Right? Orbit sounds kind of right. Places specified around a world vector. Okay. That's actually exactly what we want, because we can still use this vector. We will rotate around a point that's 0.7 above that thing. Let's set a head variable camera. Right. Notice it is white this time. It is a camera variable. So we need to set what that camera is. So let's take this main camera. Yeah, Riking. This is actually my favorite scripting bit. It's called ViewScript. If you go to, I'll type it into the chat in a second. Place a camera variable. Let's ditch this one. Yeah, if you go to Detox Studios, the tool is called ViewScript. It's in the asset store. It's expensive, but they have a personal learning edition. So if you do a search for personal learning edition, you should find it on their site, and you can pull it down for free. You just have to include it. Yes, so it's an add-on. It's an add-on. So the Unity is generally built in. You're going to have to code it in C#. So what I did was I pulled this in, and part of this. And Josh, would you agree? I like doing this because you can follow me visually, right?
Yeah,
and you can follow my logic.
And then explain it.
Yeah.
I mean, then a lot of the stuff you taught me, it was like, go make a flowchart anyway.
Right.
So.
And this is the flowchart, right? Or it can be. To target game object. Pass its position. Distance. Okay, distance from the target. We want that. Let's call it 4 units. Movement. I don't know yet.
So, okay, so distance is going to be how far away, it's going to stay from the object.
Yep. I think all of that is fine for now. Let's just see how that works. Save this graph. Let's do save debug. I hear that my new coffee is all set. So I'll be right back.
I will have more. You want to know what's in my smoothie?
What's in your smoothie?
Bananas, carrots, almond milk, water. Well, water, of course, right down. But chia seeds.
Yeah.
And 2 Brazil nuts. And
2 Brazil nuts.
2.
2. Exactly and 2. No more, no less.
Yeah. You can't do too many of those.
Yeah.
Expensive.
Fair enough. Okay, now let's go back to our scene and look at what we've got here. We have a very large ground plane. We have a robot, and we have our game screen. Let's go. Okay, now at least we can follow along where we're going.
Nice.
Now you notice that because the only things in the screen are a crazy flat long plane, a head, and the ground, it's hard to actually see any speed because the camera is always keeping this object in the center, right?
Yeah.
So let's do this. Let's play around with just a little bit of level action. Here's a quick quick lesson in just some building. Let's move it up a little bit. Put that there. Okay, I am going to. We're going to do this en masse. I did Command D. Yes, that's right. So ranking. Let's do. Let me ask you something. Are you on a Mac or a PC? And then, so what I'm doing here is I'm putting out some obstacles that we can go around, right? Now this is like we're getting the basic gameplay.
I keep making Triforces.
Oh yeah. well, they're forces. Right? Watch this. I'm gonna shift, select a bunch of these. We're going to Control D all of those and create even more squares. It looks kind of random, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It is kind of random, right? You can end up with some pretty random patterns just by doing some crap like I'm doing now.
Yeah, because you could like rotate it on the Y a bit or something.
Right? Oh, see what it did? It went to the pivot. Let's do the center. Okay, now move these, and we have some basic, semi-simple obstacles to go around. Now we can play. Okay. Here we go. It took a little longer than I really wanted to go to. I should have scripted it from the start, but I really wanted to try and play around with physics. Physics is its harsh mistress, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now we have no. I'm going to do create empty. Oh, okay, Riking. So it's basically, I'll explain the script to you real quick. Hold on. I'm going to create an empty game object, and I'm going to call this obstacles, just for my own organization, because my hierarchy over here is getting kind of sloppy. So I'm going to drag these into there. We're going to collapse that, and we're good to go. Cube 1 needs to go in there as well. Cube needs to go in there, and now I can minimize those. So this is not. This is a video. Oh, you do? Okay, right on. Then I won't waste your time with going back through the basics. You just let me know.
That's a lot of languages.
Yeah, it is a lot of languages. Yeah, but what's nice about this is this actually outputs a C# script that you can edit as well. So you can get your thoughts going here, kick out the C# script and see how it built it. It's pretty cool. Let's see here. Let's get to. Oh, there we go. You know what I'd kind of like to do is actually make this a follow camera. So I think if we go through the settings of this update camera orbit, we could probably get some constrain. Do we want to constrain angles?
Follow how?
Well, I'd like to keep it always like, let's say, quote unquote, behind the target, right? Right, which is like, where's that position? You know, I wonder, let's actually unhook this. Let's get the body. Let's make that the target. Oh, I can't do that. Oh! Okay, let's see this. Camera movement.
I'm not sure what we're trying to do.
Well, sorry. What I want to do is, so like right now, notice that the camera always stays pointed in the same direction in the world.
Yeah.
Right. What I was trying to do is actually get the camera to be more like a lagging.
Like a follow delay?
Yeah.
That's not like a camera orbit variable, like movement. Just a movement. No, that's rotation.
Yeah, I'm looking. Maybe there's a way.
Oh, gotta get the power plug for this. Oh, here it is. Just a sec.
Yeah. You can do some crazy optimizations if you want, but yeah, because this is not necessarily the fastest set of C Sharp once it compiles. So at least we have it. There's got to be a way to set the orbit. Let's try movement as 1, right? Let me just do that instead of setting it at 0. In fact, let's do. That's a vector 2 up there, so let's take this vector 2 and call it orbit movement. Let's make it public. Set some defaults of 1 and 0. Save debug. Into confetti. That's no longer going to be the same thing that it ever was. Oh, what, Josh?
I want it to go.
Oh, got it. Why do I have freeze rotation on that? Let's see here. BB head, ball, camera, orbit, move. So what I did was I exposed the variables to the camera orbit. Let's see if that gives us some. Did I lose? I might have lost. Okay, so it's moving constantly, right?
Yeah.
So what we can do is 0. I don't think movement is what we want.
Nah.
It is kind of what we want, but what we want to do is let's call that camera orbit movement, and I'm going to not make this public. And what we're going to do is action event. Hold on, let me call up OBS because I think maybe we dropped. No, we're streaming. Oh, okay. Is everybody still here, or did everybody get dropped?
Everything looks fine to me.
Oh, okay. I got an error on my side. Let's go back to. Okay, so I'm gonna take. No, what the hell just happened? What did I just say I was gonna do? Oh, right here on add event, input event. Let's just call it this. On input event. Condition, comparison, let's see, where is it? Key codes? No, that's not what I want. Delete selected. Let's see. Input. Filter. Input events filter. Let's just call it space action.
Is this to change camera modes?
No, I'm going to actually here. Let's do this. Ditch this actually. Add event, input event. Let's do mouse axis, right? And what we're going to do is based on this mouse axis, we will change the value of this. Bit. Right? So when the mouse is moving on one of these axes or the wheel, it will create an output. Right? So I'm just going to give myself control variable. see that it's